Hi, I'm Kevin Long from justmeans.com. I am at the Biopolymers Symposium in Denver, Colorado. With me here is Anastasia O'Rourke from the Big Room. How you doing, Anastasia?
Good, thanks.
Good. Anastasia, the Big Room.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
We are a company based in Vancouver, in Canada, and we are sort of helping people make greener choices across a wide, variety of spectrums. But the biggest one being we are applying to run a new registry on the internet for .eco. So that means a new extension at the end of your web address, which would be like .com or .org,
okay.
but .eco.
.eco. So people are going to actually be able to buy, once you get through the registration process, buy their company name .eco.
Yep, or individual Anastasia
okay.
.eco.
Ah, okay.
Or for a product, Apple.eco, for example, or even a government agency, anything that you want to buy a website for.
So a whole new eco-focused area, URLs, and I can go out there and start snapping up names and sell them off, or how does it work?
Firstly, not quite yet.
Okay.
And then secondly, when we are, once we've launched and so on, trademark owners will have rights to their name, so you couldn't buy Coca-Cola.eco, for example.
Got it, okay.
But then also we'll be requiring people to answer a series of questions about what makes them eco in a very sort of structured way. So it's like a little environmental profile or eco profile.
Okay.
And from that we'll be able to, the community and everyone will be able to see, well, what makes you or your product or your company fit into this community of .eco websites and people and organizations, etc.
That sounds great. So why are you at the Biopolymer Symposium?
Well, I mean, I have a long history of being fascinated with all things green, and in preparing all of our work around .eco, we've been researching very heavily eco labels and certification systems, so all sorts of logos that you might see on a product, organic labels and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And we built a database called ecolabelindex.com.
Okay.
Eventually will be .eco.
Got it, right.
And from that we're tracking over 400 eco labels around the world. So I'm chairing a panel on certification systems and eco labels at this conference later this afternoon.
Okay, and what have you thought about, you've been around mixing, I've seen you running around the conference here. What have you thought of it so far?
It's really clearly a kind of industry in emergence. So that means you have sort of real tech specialists who are really into the details and all the chemistry and so on, and then you have kind of the high level policy, regulatory folks, and then you have the marketers. So it's actually quite a fascinating group of people from different walks of life in a way that's kind of coalescing around this new industry of biopolymers. I'm interested, as I said, in the eco labels and certifications.
Right.
In this industry, it's really important because proving that you're green, that this plastic or this product is green, you cannot tell it just from looking at it, right?
It's so confusing.
Yeah, it is.
To the average consumer and the people who are in the industry.
Yeah, it is, and that's because they're, environmental issues are so multi-dimensional. So you have, all sorts of things around energy and water and waste and toxicity, what happens, but then you also have the life cycle stage. It's like, you're talking about the input of the resources, where they're made and so on, are they renewable? But you're also talking about what happens at the end of the life of the product when you throw it away. So does that product break down? Can be composted? Can be biodegrade? Under what conditions? And so on. So, companies are taking different marketing tactics on that front.
Exactly.
And if they're selling these plastics, these bioplastics, to consumers, and consumers are interested in because they're green in some way, it's kind of incumbent on the companies to really prove that how is it green and under what system, and
where certification's going to come in handy.
Yeah, and how do you label it so that's not deceptive.
Right.
And I think there's a way to go. There are different certification systems out there, and some are more rigorous than others as well. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to your panel this afternoon.
Thank you.
Can you tell, Anastasia, everybody where they can find out more information about Big Room?
Sure, our website's Big Room, like a big room. .ca for Canada, and if you're interested in .eco, go to .eco.info.
Great, thanks so much.
Thank you.
This is Kevin Long from justmeans.com.